144 pixels. 144 pixels is 256 by 144 pixels. The entire frame has fewer pixels than a thumbnail. It exists for one reason: to keep your video playing when your internet is dying. No quality, no detail, just enough data to call it a moving image. Here's what nobody tells you though: 144p isn't just bad quality, it's a technical achievement. Engineers compressed video so aggressively it streams on a connection barely faster than dial-up, and still stays recognizable. You don't choose 144p, you survive it. 240p. 240p is 426 by 240 pixels. Slightly less painful. Faces look like faces, vaguely. Text is a blur. Fast motion is a smear. But the content is there, somewhere, hiding behind the compression. Here's something that reframes everything. Most iconic viral videos from the early internet, the ones with hundreds of millions of views, were filmed, uploaded, and watched in 240p. Not because the internet was slow, because cameras weren't better yet. Every legendary moment, every meme, every clip that changed culture, written in 240p. 360p. 360p is 640 by 360 pixels. And this is where something shifts. It's the invisible middle ground. Not impressive enough to notice, but good enough that you stop complaining. Text is readable. Motion is followable. You can actually watch a tutorial and learn something. But here's the perspective shift worth sitting with. 360p is the resolution that keeps the internet functional for the majority of the world. Not the wealthy parts with fiber connections, the parts with 3G, limited data plans, and screens smaller than your hand. For billions of people, 360p isn't a compromise. It's the experience. 480p, standard definition. 480p, 854 by 480 pixels. This is where things get genuinely interesting. This is DVD quality. Exactly. The format that killed VHS launched Blockbuster into its golden era and made people build entire home theater rooms was 480p. People spent thousands on projectors and surround sound systems, all for a 480p image. And here's the twist. On the right screen, in the right room, 480p still looks good today. Not because the resolution is impressive, it isn't, but because picture quality is only partly about pixels. Contrast, color accuracy, frame rate, compression, those matter just as much. A well-mastered 480p film on a calibrated screen will beat a badly compressed 1080p stream every single time. 720p HD. 720p, 1280 by 720 pixels, over 900,000 pixels per frame. This is the moment HD became real for most people. The first time they saw 720p on a flat screen and thought, oh, so this is what sharp looks like. And it's still genuinely sharp. Colors are clean. Motion is smooth. Text is crisp. Most people streaming on a decent connection land here automatically and won't feel cheated. But here's what nobody says out loud. For a huge percentage of viewers, on a huge percentage of screens, 720p and 1080p are visually indistinguishable. Not because their eyes are bad, because the difference requires specific conditions to appear. Conditions most people don't have in their living room. That's not a knock on 1080p. It's a knock on the idea that more always means better. 1080p, Full HD, 1080p, 1920 by 1080 pixels, around 2 million pixels per frame. This is the standard, the one every TV manufacturer defaults to, every streaming service targets, every gamer, creator, and filmmaker talks about. It's the center of gravity for video quality right now, and for good reason. At 1080p, The image is genuinely sharp on screens up to about 55 inches. Fast motion, sports, action, rapid camera movement looks excellent. And the bandwidth requirements are manageable enough that almost any modern internet connection handles it without stuttering. But here's the thing that should stop you in your tracks. All of that is true. And yet, 1080p is already being called outdated because something happened in the last decade that quietly changed everything. The screens got bigger. And when screens get bigger, the math changes completely. A 1080p image stretched across a 75-inch display starts to fall apart. You begin to see the structure underneath, the grid, the limitation. What looked perfect at 40 inches looks soft at 70. The content didn't change. The screen did, and suddenly, the number that was enough yesterday isn't enough anymore. That's not progress. That's the goalpost moving, and it keeps moving. 4K Ultra HD. 4K is 3,840 by 2,160 pixels, 8.3 million pixels per frame, 4 times the pixels of 1080p. On a 65-inch TV from 2 meters away, the difference is real. Textures you couldn't see before become visible. Edges that were soft become sharp. Detail that existed in the original footage but was invisible at 1080p suddenly appears. 4K didn't make videos better. It revealed detail that was always there. That's the actual story of 4K. It's not a new invention. It's a recovery. Filmmakers have been capturing in high resolution for decades. The resolution just didn't survive the journey to your screen. Here's where it gets complicated though. To actually see 4K, you need a 4K screen, 4K content, enough bandwidth to stream it, about 20 to 25 gigabytes per hour on Netflix. And you need to be close enough to a large enough screen for your eyes to physically resolve the extra detail. Remove any one of those conditions, and you're watching 1080p with extra data costs. 4 conditions, all 4. Miss one and the upgrade disappears entirely. 8K, 7,680 by 4,320 pixels, 33 million pixels per frame, 4 times 4K, 16 times 1080p. Here is the honest truth. The human eye, at normal viewing distances, from a normal couch, in a normal room, cannot distinguish 8K from 4K. Not because 8K isn't real, it is. But human visual acuity has a ceiling, and for most screen sizes at most viewing distances, 4K already exceeds it. 8K only becomes visible at 85 inches or larger from about 1 to 2 meters away. That's not a living room. That's a screening room. So why does 8K exist? Because the people who need it aren't watching movies on a couch. Film studios shoot in 8K to reframe, crop, and stabilize footage in post-production without losing resolution. Surgeons use 8K monitors where a single millimeter of detail matters. Broadcast professionals future-proof their archives for screens that don't exist yet. 8K isn't a consumer format. It's an infrastructure investment. The fact that it's being sold in consumer electronics stores right now is mostly marketing.